do you mean do the line? I don't want to do the line. No, I'm not doing the. I'm not. Fine.
Performa pals are back and they're on the attack. YouTube!
Hey everybody, welcome back from the, I guess, the clickbait meme portion of the video. Of course, I'm Circus, and welcome to the show here. I am highlighting this Performa Pal deck that I've been working on. When Performa Pals first came out, originally they came out in the Infernity box with Weather Painter. So if you went into that box, you might already have these cards. But when they came out, I saw them in the box and was like, you know what, I got to make a deck out of it. And I did. I made a synchro deck out of it, a synchro spam deck using some psychic monsters, and I made a video about that, so I'm going to link that in the description below. Check that out. It's more of a meme video, but it was a lot of fun to make. But when I made that video, a lot of people were like, hey, this is going to be really good when XZs come out, you know, because they're level 3s and they special summon each other. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So when XZs came out, I went into the box, and maybe you saw that video where I spent way too much money on the box, and I got a lot of these. Mellow Melody, the Brass Dijin. I got 6 of them. So I'm like, I got to build a deck around this. Obviously, it's not going to be a competitive deck. This is going to be a PvE deck. But I love building these. They're always a lot of fun to see how the computer plays them. And trying to build a deck that the computer can play without screwing it up, right? Because we all know how bad that auto duel AI can be. So if you're not familiar with Performa Pals, we'll go over them here a little bit. Basically, we got the Performa Pal Flip Hippo. He can when he's normal summon, you can special summon one Performa Pal monster from your hand. Okay, so that's great, but his effects are negated, but that doesn't come up too often. Friend Donkey, he's one of my favorite cards of all time. I love the colors. I love his little smile, his little hat. When he's normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Performa Pal monster from your hand or graveyard. So that just comes in clutch all the time. And then we're using the Sky Pupil because he's got a couple cool effects. Whenever he battles, he can negate your opponent's monster's effect, and then when he attacks before damage calculation, he can destroy a monster as long as you have another Performa Pal monster on the field. So that does come in pretty handy. Like if you're playing on the ladder with this, you can take out boss monsters with it. It's pretty handy. Even the AI knows how to use it, but the other reason he's in here is because he's a level 3, and these are all level 3s. So basically, like the hippo can summon out the donkey or the pupil. You know, the donkey can bring out the hippo or the pupil. The donkey can bring him back from the graveyard. So they just spam out really easy is the whole point. So like I said, if you went into the Infernity box, you have these already, okay? If you don't go into them after don't go into that box for these cards. Just if you have them, okay? And then what I noticed right here is the Brass Dijin. It's easy to go into. It's 2 level 3 monsters, right? And he's got a great effect that you can detach one material from the card, and then you can attack a Dijin monster you control can attack twice, and that includes itself. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to detach a material and attack twice. But what I noticed is he's only got 1400 attack. Poor little guy. So I thought we got to defend him some way. And if you notice, he's a fiend. So what we're going to do is we're going to boost him up with the Archfiend Palabyrinth. Okay, so basically all this does is give all fiend type monsters 500 attack. So immediately he goes from 1400 to 1900. So that's great. And then you can get that from the Paradox Brothers Duel reward. So at the gate, you can farm for that. You can use Power of the Guardians. That's what we're using here because everybody knows what this does. But every time there is an attack declared using this card, you put a spell counter on the card, and it gains 500 attack and defense for each spell counter. And then if the monster is going to get destroyed, you can take a spell counter off and protect the monster. And then our protection cards are going to be Floodgate, Trap Hole. I'm sorry, Power of the Guardians. You can get in 3 different spots: the mini box, Dimensions of the Wizard mini box, Masters of Chaos EX structure deck, and then Selection Box Volume 3. Don't go into the selection box to get this card, please, for the love of God. And then Floodgate Trap Hole is a protection card, like I said. You can get that from Generation Next. Use your dream tickets on it. It's a great staple card. You should have 3 already. And then Wall of Disruption, another staple card. You should have 2 to 3 already. There you go. Servants of King mini box and Selection Box Volume 1. Do not go into that box for this card. You can easily use your SR Dream tickets, and this is a great staple card, especially for PvE. So we're using balance because basically we want to start out with at least 1 monster, 1 spell, either one, and then 1 protection card, and then, you know, the last card's always random, so if you get a second monster, you're just in right away. And what's great is the computer doesn't misplay with this too much. It is, it's kind of like when the computer is playing a synchro deck, like turn 1, if it goes first, it will not synchro under any conditions. Same thing with this, it will just set a monster and pass. So hopefully, you know, if that monster gets taken out, it shouldn't, because you have a Floodgate Trap Hole or a Wall of D. Hopefully the next turn, you know, it can go right into your XZ's monsters. Now, if you don't have this Archfiend Palabyrinth, you can just use Yami if you don't have it. So right here, Yami, it just boosts all Fiend and spell type spellcaster type monsters by 200 points. And this guy's a spellcaster, so he gets a little boost. But you can get this from, there you go, at the card trader and Callan Kessler's starter deck. So you should have this. You should have 3 of these. So you can substitute that. You can, if you don't have, somehow you don't have Power of the Guardians, you can put any equip card in there. There's some that are Fiend specific, some are just general. You can even use Banner of Courage if you really had to. And if you don't have Floodgate Trap Hole, use Canadia. If you don't have that, just use some kind of protection trap. Just don't use like Karma Cuts or something like that cause you to discard, because this deck doesn't do well with recovering resources. You know, there's just no way to draw into your cards. So you don't want to be discarding from your hand unless you absolutely have to. So I would not recommend anything like that. And then, you know, Wall of D is just Wall of D. If you don't have it, just if you're completely free to play and you somehow don't have this, Windstorm of Atakwa or Atakwa, whatever you want to call it, Curse of Anubis, you know, Countergate, anything else, okay? Just as long as you have six traps. All right, so like I said, I didn't have the Archfiend Palabyrinth, so I used this deck to farm it, and I went into level 30 and just hammered this out pretty quick. It only took like a half hour because this deck typically moves pretty quick. The reason I wasn't going against level 40, I tried it a couple times, is they keep playing Soul Exchange against you, and that's just terrible because you get that XZ's monster out, and then they Soul Exchange it, and then, you know, basically they're gonna use your monster to tribute their own monster, and it's just terrible. So this is a pretty good start because we know we can go into XZ's right away. So we're gonna use the hippo to summon out the other hippo, and we're right into it. There we go. Too bad we can't attack this turn, but we'll see if the computer will declare an attack. We could save the Power of the Guardians, but I don't know, we're playing the computer, so I'm not too worried. So I'm just gonna equip it, because the computer will probably be like, oh, I can get over 1900 and then attack right into the Wall of D, and then it's on, and then we're already winning this thing. So we'll see if it, sometimes it does this whole play here and doesn't go into anything. And it's going to this time. All right, so it's going to attack with the Labyrinth Tank. So we're going to get a counter. It's going to die. There you go. And it's pretty much game over from here. So this is a really quick way to farm these guys to get that Palabyrinth. Because all we're going to do now is, no matter what we draw here, and then we just detach 1 material. Bam. Bam. And then we attack. It's really that simple. 1 and 2, and it's over. And you can farm these pretty quick. You don't have to go to level 40 if you don't want to spend the extra items or whatever to farm at that level. Sometimes you can get lucky and get, let's see what I get for a dual assessment. 3,800, so I did ×3. I guess I had to get all the treasures. If you can get a steady 4,000, you can do ×2, obviously, but like I said, it took me a half hour to get 3, or I had 1, I had to get 2 more, so it only took a half hour to do that. But that's pretty much how the deck works. Like I said, the AI plays it pretty well. Um, I'm at stage missions 53, so I'm not at 60, so they're not top tier. They're level 51. The only deck that gives us a hard time is like this one in Smile of Venus. I think in this one they have Order to Charge, and there's another deck that has Order to Charge in it. It just sucks because they'll knock out your monster, but if you draw into like the donkey, he can recover real quick. So it's not too bad. I want to say like 100 duels with this thing. I did like 100 duels, auto duels, and I want to say it only lost like once or twice. And I recorded 10 auto duels real quick so I can make this video, and I'll show you the replays real quick. It went 10 out of 10 on it. I mean, you can see here the replays are all pretty close together. I guess that's the only way I can try to prove that it's 10 out of 10. I mean, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine, but why would I lie about Performa, pals? But, so if you have any questions about the deck, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of fun to play. Hit me up in the comments down below. And you guys know what to do. Get in the Discord because that's where we host all of our tournaments. And we have a great new player channel in there where people are giving out advice. So just get in there. It's free. You know, you never have to pay to get in, and we'd love to have you in there. So I'm Circus. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you next time. Bye.